All right, here we go. Chapter 2 of Framed by Gordon Corman. New York Jets, world champions. It was a heavy gold ring designed to fit a very big finger. A large central diamond, surrounded by smaller diamonds, formed the shape of a football outlined in Jets green. Melissa agitated her head, and her curtain of hair parted to reveal eyes wide with wonder. "You always hear about Super Bowl rings, but I've never seen one up close before," she said in her quiet voice. Pitch nodded, impressed. Super Bowl III was one of the greatest games in NFL history. A jet of Windex hit the display case, and Pitch had to jump back to avoid being splattered. Mr. Clancy, one of the custodians, reached a cloth over Pitch's shoulder and scrubbed at the glass in front of the ring. "Super Bowl III was a joke," he muttered. "But wasn't that the game where Broadway Joe Namath guaranteed victory and then made it happen?" Pitch asked. "He got lucky," the custodian said sourly. "I was right about your age for that so-called Super Bowl. Worst day of my life." And he walked off, a Windex cloud obscuring the blue and white headband he wore at all times. "I guess Mr. Clancy isn't a Jets fan," Savannah observed. "I guess not," Pitch agreed. "But you got to appreciate a real Super Bowl ring. That's pretty cool." Griffin was disgusted. "Does it make you want to go out there and do more jumping jacks? This time in a blizzard? Or maybe a flood? Then we could burn extra calories by treading water." "All right, Griffin, we get it," soothed Ben. "You don't like Dr. Egan very much. Neither do I. You think I enjoy being barfed on by a ferret at 8 o'clock in the morning?" "At least you guys just have to deal with him at school," put in Savannah. "Try living across the street from the guy." Pitch was appalled. "He's your neighbor? That's awful." "Everybody has to live somewhere, I guess," Savannah said unhappily. "Anyway, I don't see him around much. He's probably here all day, kissing his Super Bowl ring." "It is something you don't see every day," Pitch admitted. "It's nice," agreed Logan. "Not as nice as an Oscar, of course." Darren came lumbering up, eavesdropping as usual. "The only Oscar you're ever going to touch, Kellerman, is the Oscar Mayer Wiener kind." He turned to Griffin. "How's that retainer? Got the swamp out of it yet?" Griffin had just spent nearly 20 minutes rinsing the dental appliance under hot water. The last thing he was in the mood for was Darren's moronic sense of humor. But when he opened his mouth to fire off a retort, his retainer popped out again. He barely managed to catch it just before it hit the floor. "Nice save," Darren sneered. "Beat it, Bader." "Dr. Egan told us to admire this ring and be inspired," said Darren, "and that's what I'm doing." "Wait a second." Griffin's eyes narrowed. "You like him?" "Best principal on Long Island," Darren affirmed. Griffin scowled into the display case. "More like Dr. Evil." "We lucked out when we got him," Darren said smugly. "I'm the only 7th grader who made the football team, and I'm going to dominate." Pitch muttered something under her breath that no one could make out, which was probably just as well. For some reason, she'd been in a foul mood all week. Darren beamed. "You guys are just bent out of shape because Dr. Egan will never let you get away with the kind of stuff you pulled in elementary school." "Aren't you forgetting something?" Griffin could barely contain his anger. "You were there with us every step of the way, double-crossing us, stabbing us in the back. Yeah, funny how it all got blamed on you dopes and not me." The big boy peered through the glass of the display case of the Super Bowl ring. "I'm going to own one of these someday. Those are real diamonds. What do you think it's worth?" "More than we could get for you," snapped Pitch. "Lard and hot air doesn't bring in much." "It's not just the value of the diamonds and the gold," she said in a deep voice, said a deep voice behind them. "It's the fact that it's so rare." They turned to see Tony Bartholomew, a tall, serious 8th grader. Every Super Bowl championship team has its own unique ring. Only the Jets and their coaching staff were given these. There are probably no more than 50 or 60 of them in the whole world. He paused. "And this one's mine." That got their complete attention. "How do you figure that?" Darren demanded. "Art Blankenship was my grandmother's first cousin. That makes me his closest living relative." "Except for his wife," Savannah pointed out, "and she gave the ring to the school." Tony nodded his agreement. "But when the school tossed it in a dark corner somewhere, they were throwing it away. That's when it should have gone to me." Wow, said Logan. What are you going to do? I don't know, Tony said with equal parts dejection and determination. Something. That ring belongs to me. The bell rang, and the bustle in the hall grew louder. Tony melted into the crowd, and Darren took his leave with a cheerful, "Later, losers." Pitch shook her head in amazement. Is it just me, or is this place even weirder than our last school? I have a prescription ferret, Ben said with a sigh. I'm not a good judge of weird. Till next time.